Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Agent Ross, and in this series we are building a full 3D checkers game in the browser using Three.js, step by step from scratch. If you are completely new to Three.js or even new to JavaScript, don't worry. I'm going to explain everything slowly with no skip steps and no assumptions. In the last episode, I showed you the final game we are working toward and explained the overall roadmap for the series. Today we are officially starting the build. By the end of this video, you will have a real 3D checkerboard render in your browser. And more importantly, you will understand why it works, not just copy-paste code. Before we touch Three.js, I want to explain how HTML, CSS, and JavaScript work together in this project. A very common beginner mistake is putting everything inside JavaScript. This works for demos, but it's not how real projects are built. So here is the rule we will follow in this series. HTML defines structure, CSS control layout and appearance, JavaScript handle logic and behavior. Three.js does not replace HTML or CSS. It works with them. In this series, to make it quick, I'll first type the code and then explain in details. Alright, first of all, index.html. Let's go through this file carefully. Doctype HTML tells the browser we are using modern HTML. The HTML tag wraps our entire web page. Inside head, we store information about the page. The meta char set ensures text displays correctly. The viewport tag makes sure the page scales properly on different screen sizes. The title is what you see in the browser tab. This canvas is the most important element on the page. Three.js does not magically draw on the screen, it needs a surface. This canvas is that surface. Everything you see in 3D will be drawn inside this element. Think of it like a window into our 3D world. Script tag. We load our JavaScript at the bottom of the body. We use type module so we can import libraries like Three.js. This file will control entire game. Now let's go to style.css. CSS control how things look and where they appear. Browser at default spacing. We remove it so the canvas fills the screen perfectly. Setting width and height to 100% allows the canvas to scale with the browser. Overflow hidden removes scroll bars. This is essential for a clean full-screen 3D experience. Next is main.js. Here we import Three.js. Then we select the canvas from the HTML. This connects our JavaScript logic to the actual page. From now on, everything Three.js render will appear inside that canvas. Now we create the three core building blocks of every Three.js project: the scene, the camera, the renderer. The scene is the world. The camera is our eyes. The renderer draws what the camera sees onto the canvas. Before we write any code, I want to explain something very important. In Three.js, everything lives inside something called a scene. You can think of a scene like a stage in theater. The stage itself doesn't do anything, but it's where objects exist, lights shine, and the camera looks. Without a scene, there is literally nowhere to put our 3D objects. This line creates our scene. Right now it's empty, no objects, no lights, nothing, but it exists. Everything we add from now on will be added to this scene. Next, we need a camera. In real life, you don't see the entire world, you see it through your eyes. In a 3D scene, the camera acts like your eyes. If you don't have a camera, the scene exists but you can't see anything. Let's break this down slowly. Perspective camera means objects farther away look smaller, just like real life. The first number 60 is the field of view. This controls how wide the camera can see. A smaller number feels zoomed in, a larger number feels zoomed out. The next is aspect ratio. This is simply the width of the screen divided by the height of the screen. If we don't do this correctly, the scene will look stretched and squished. The last two numbers are called the near and far clipping planes. This means objects closer than 0.1 unit won't render, and objects farther than 1000 units won't render. This helps performance and prevents visual bugs. Now we move the camera. In Three.js, X is left and right, Y is up and down, Z is forward and backward. So we are placing the camera directly in the center horizontally, high up in the air, and pull back so we can see the board. Then we tell the camera to look at the center of the scene. The renderer takes our 3D scene and turns it into pixels. We connect it to canvas we created in HTML, anti-aliasing smooth, jagged edges so everything looks nicer. We also set the renderer size to match the browser window. Right now, even if we add objects, they will look completely black. That's because 3D objects need light, just like in real world. Ambient light is like soft room light. It lights everything evenly. Directional light acts like the sun. It comes from one direction and creates depth and shading. Using both together gives us a nice balanced look. Now comes the fun part, building the checkerboard. A checkers board is an 8x8 grid. Instead of manually placing 64 tiles, we will use loops. We use two loops, one for rows and one for columns. This lets us generate the board automatically. This line might look confusing at first, but it's actually very simple. Let's break it down. Every tile has an X position and Z position. We add them together. Some tiles produce an even number, some produce an odd number. Using divided by 2 gives us remainder when divided by 2. So even numbers gives 0, odd numbers gives 1. This naturally creates an alternating pattern. That's how we get the classic checkerboard look. We use box shape for each tile. It's wide and flat, perfect for a board tile. We subtract 3.5 from X and Z to center the board. Without this, the board will be pushed into a corner of the scene. Next, the render loop. This function runs over and over again. It constantly redraws the scene. Currently, if you move the browser, you will see the board is not resizing properly. So, the next thing we will implement is the resize support. This makes sure the board resizes properly when the Windows changes. And that's it for this episode. We now have a real 3D scene, a camera, lighting, and a full checkboard generated with code. In the next episode, we will add the checker pieces, start turning this into a real game. This is where things really start to come alive. Why this structure matters. Separating HTML, CSS, and JavaScript makes our project easier to understand, easier to debug, and easier to expand later. When we add UI menus and buttons, you will see why this matters. So at this point, we have a properly structured HTML page, clean CSS styling, a Three.js canvas, and a fully generated 3D checkerboard. In the next episode, we will start adding checker pieces and introduce game state. This is where the project really starts to feel like a game. If you find this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.